What's good, y'all? It's your girl ShawniiEcho, and I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name's ShawniiEcho. I'm a singer, songwriter, hairstylist, videographer, all that good stuff. And if you would like to see my content, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications, because that's the only way you're going to be notified. But its algorithm is set up. If you are returning, me. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Beautiful, intelligent, confident, independent, talented, well equipped. It don't matter what you be. The best thing that I can be is me. I know who I am.
So if you read the title, today we are talking about how to go about charging your clients. That's something you need help with. You need to see. Continue watching this video, okay? And without further ado, we're just gonna get straight into it. Don't y'all hate them, videos with long intros? Yeah, I'm one of them. Oh well. But let's get to it. Let's get to it. We are in the beginning of a series for all my fellow hairstylists. It was actually brought to my attention, by one of my supporters, that what I was saying in my last video, that if you didn't go see, you need to go see, which is the top 10 mistakes I've made as a hairstylist, applies to pretty much all business owners. A lot of those mistakes are commonly made in other forms of business. So even if you don't do hair, this may, you could take some of these concepts and apply them to whatever type of business you have. But for this video, this is specifically about hairstylists. I have history in braiding, wigs, and sew-ins. So this is my take on how you should consider your pricing. You know what I'm saying? What you charge. So first things first, I'm not gonna sit here and give you a specific, box braid should be this amount of money, stitch braid should be X amount of money. I can't do that for you. I'm sorry. I know. I did the same thing. I was, searching in YouTube trying to find specific prices. Wish it was that easy, but it's not, and you're going to thank me, because you shouldn't be doing that. This is why. I personally believe that you should be consulting each and every client. If you want to take the easy route, which you will be frustrated and cheating yourself sometime, you can do a set flat rate price on each style, regardless of how a client's state of their hair is in. If you want to do that, fine. But let me tell you something. Every human being is unique, which means every head size is unique. Every hair texture is unique, man. So it's not going to be a flat amount of time it takes to do people's hair. It's going to be an individual experience, and I think that you should charge for that individual experience. I have seen people go in on their policies, right? And it sounds, when you're reading, and you know how you text somebody and they don't know you, so they just take it out of context. It sounds real aggressive. Like, by the time you get done reading a policy, you feel like, well, damn, do you even want to do my hair? Because you got all these stipulations. But me being a stylist, I understand exactly why. So maybe they should make a video so it can come off nicer. But there's purpose behind that. So we're going to go in and break down how you consult. What information are you looking for to determine what you're going to charge these clients, okay? So I got my notes. Ooh. First of all, let's talk about a consultation. What a consultation is. It's the time you spend going back and forth in a text message, DM, or on the phone with a client who is indecisive about how they want their hair, or has questions about what the process may be, or you need to ask a couple of questions to determine how much you're going to charge them for what it is that they're looking to get done. Now, some stylists, some businesses charge a consultation fee. That's the amount, some stuff is easier, quick, and some is not. So you can charge for a consultation if you choose, or you can do it for free. I recommend maybe that's included in the deposit price, and maybe the deposit don't have nothing to do with the appointment. That's the best way to, like, you know, compromise with that. You lock in your appointment with me, and I gave you valuable information. You spent time on, whether that's like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or I'm texting you, that's time out of my day. Time is money. I'm gonna charge you for this consultation, and even if I don't do your hair, I gave you the information for you to do it yourself, or go, you know, go get it done by somebody else. I should be paid for that. You know, I'm giving you value. Up to you. However, these are the things that you want to find out during the consultation and why. So the first thing, you want to find out the age, if possible. And usually this is more so applying to children. When you're pricing, you usually charge less to do children's hair than you would an adult head, just because the sizing. However, sometimes you might charge more to do a kid hair because they're tender-headed, so it takes you longer to do it, because you got to be a little bit more, you know, abiding to that. They don't sit still. Some of them do, but you can expect for them to not sit still and be crying and having to go to the bathroom. All of those things are inconveniences. So some people charge more for children, some people charge less for children. However, if you know their age, you can kind of guesstimate, you know, how you want to charge that, and, you know, how big they are. But I think a more accurate thing to do is to get a photo of that child with its natural hair, the state of its natural hair showing within that photo. So now you know how big their head is approximately, what their natural hair looks like from a texture standpoint and from a color standpoint. Why does all of these things matter? How big their head is determines how long it's probably gonna take. What their texture is determines, you know, how tender-headed they may or may not be. The length of their hair. If their hair is very short, it's typically harder to do the parting and tucking when hair is very short. So that's something you want to consider. That lets you know, okay, I have a client that literally tries to book getting her daughter's hair done. She sends me these reference photos of how she wants her daughter's hair, and then she don't want to add no hair. Ma'am, your daughter's hair not gonna look like that. You wanna know why? Because her hair is too short, or it's not thick enough, and it's not gonna look like that. We need to add hair. I understand she's a child. We can make it look natural, but we're gonna need to add some hair. So that helps you determine those things, right? And the density of their hair is important, because then you understand how much hair you need. You might only need one pack, because, you know, sometimes you go to the beauty supply store and you don't know, do I get one pack? Do I get 2 packs? You overbuy or you underbuy. The worst thing to do is to underbuy. But you just figure out all of these things during a consultation. You figure out their hair color, what number you need to purchase if you're braiding. So all of that is important. All of that factors into how long it's going to take you to do their hair, right? That's before the style. That's just determining like how long and what you're dealing with, especially if they're doing an add-on. And we're gonna talk about that. A style, right? Let's say knotless braids, which these are my knotless braids. I do them. I live in Atlanta if you want to book, but I did these myself in the last video that I uploaded. So again, make sure you guys go watch that. Anyways, knotless braids, let's say I charge $250 for this, right? And that's just to braid the hair, right? That's just to part it, braid it, do all that feed in, you know, prep. I account for the time it takes to do that. Then you want to add, and then you want me to wash and blow dry your hair. Okay, a wash and blow dry can be as quick as 30 minutes, or it could take 2 hours. I promise you, I kid you not. I showed up to somebody's house and they added on my website. I had a set price. I think to wash it was like $35, and to blow dry is $10. If you do it together, I think it's like $40, right? It took me 2 hours to wash and blow dry this lady's hair. Now, I don't discriminate against hair textures, but some hair textures are difficult to work with than others. On top of that, she was not maintaining her hair. It was not detangled, it was not nothing. When I went to go put her hair under the water, I couldn't even get to her scalp. So it took me 2 hours, and you know, and then she was like, you want me to help you? You want me to help you? Like I was taking too long, right? I start letting her know I don't. She decides she want to help me anyway. She start combing her hair out, and she's ripping her hair. I took my time to detangle, make sure she didn't have too much breakage that was like not necessary. She's literally like, you're taking too long. just ripping her hair out. I'm like, ma'am, if I would have knew it was okay to rip your hair out, we would have been done. We would have been done. So take into account a person's hair texture, how much they upkeep in their hair before you get there to wash it. You know what I'm saying? They not being considerate of like, I want this person to wash my hair, so I'm gonna comb it out, detangle, do the hard work, and then, you know, have it separated so it's easy for them to wash it and blow dry it. They're not thinking that. The whole purpose of them having you do their hair is because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to do it. But when I get there, you just added on a $40 add-on that's gonna take me 2 hours. And the way my knotless braids is set up, if I'm charging $250, I'm expecting to make $50 an hour. So if it took me two extra hours to do something that ended up $40 because I didn't do a consultation and understand how long it was really going to take, or do a consultation and make a recommendation, I can wash your hair, but it's going to be an additional price unless you detangle, I wouldn't have known to tell that person that if I don't do that consultation. But that 2 hours I spent making a little extra $40 to wash their hair, I could have done a 2-hour style for $80 or, you know, $125. There's plenty of styles out there that only take you 2 hours, but you just made $40 in that 2 hours that you gave away. So sometimes it's not worth it, and that's why some stylists tell you to come with your hair washed and blow dried, and they'll give you an example. This is not blow dried. This is what it needs to be. This is the state it needs to be in for me to accurately time that it takes 5 hours, however many hours for me to do your hair. So it's very important that you do a consultation to find out those things, because you will run into some stuff and be pissed off at yourself that you had a flat rate. I'm sorry, everybody's not the same, so everybody's price shouldn't be the same. That's just my opinion, because that's my experience of like showing up somewhere and budgeting out how much time, and that's not the reality of it, and you can't be mad at nobody but yourself because you didn't ask the right questions. Outside of those factors, another thing that you need to think about is how much it costs in products to do that person's hair. So I told you guys, again, we'll use the knotless braids. For the Shine and Jam container, I think I can get maybe 4 sets of knotless braids out of that can. That jar is $20. So that's $5 just for the product I'm putting in your hair. That's not accounting for the mousse either. You gotta put some mousse, you know what I'm saying? And you, a lot of the times, I have them bring me whatever oil they want to put in their scalp. I don't really provide that. But if you're providing that, just take into account how much you're using on each client, what the total cost of that is, and make sure you're factoring that into the price of the hairstyle that you're charging, okay? Product, very important. Also, hair. Factor in hair. A lot of the times a client will show up with the wrong hair. So you can call them, have a conversation, make sure they get the right hair, or you can get the hair for them, charge a convenience fee for going to pick it up, and, you know, do it that way. But account for how much that's going to cost, making sure you got the right amount of hair. All that matters when it comes to like, okay, I'm charging this much, but the hair is included. A client would love to show up and not have to worry about nothing, get their hair done. So if you are having the hair included, account for the fact that you got to go pick it up and pick it out. So travel, making sure, this common sense, but it wasn't for me in the beginning. So travel, account for 2 things, because I was only accounting for 1. Account for 2 things: your gas and your time, right? If I'm traveling to you, depending on where you live, right? Let's say I'm in Atlanta, it's traffic. So somebody lives 35 minutes from me, I gotta leave. I gotta be ready to go about an hour ahead of time. I gotta account for the traffic I'm gonna run into. I have a policy that's friendly to, if I'm late, I discount you. If you late, it's gonna cost you more. So I have to make sure that I'm on time. But when I'm traveling to you, that means I gotta leave early to get to you on time. So that's an extra hour, right? Plus the time it's actually taking to travel back home. So I just gave you an extra maybe hour and a half of me driving to you on top of gas. So don't just charge, oh, it's only gonna take me a quarter of a tank or $6. No, charge for the time, the convenience of the fact that you're coming to them, and the gas, when you're doing the travel. That's very important. The next thing that you have to factor in is your expenses. So as an adult, as a teenager, as whatever, if you have expenses, if you don't have expenses, whatever your financial goal is to make per month, then you have to break that down into how many, like figure out what your specialty is. That'll actually help you figure out your specialty. So we're gonna use the knotless braids again, right? Let's say I wanna make $2,000 a month. That means I have to do 8 sets of knotless braids in a month, which means minimum 2 knotless braids a week, right? Cool. Then I have to factor how much time I'm trying to put into that, right? Because you need to figure out how much you need to be making per hour to hit your goal. You need to make the styles that you're offering worth your time. If you're giving out a style that costs $60 and it's taking up 3 hours of your time, it's taking up 3 hours of your time, and you only have 12 hours available in that week, and you give 3 of those hours away for $20 an hour, are you going to reach your goal financially based off of the time you have available? That's how you have to do your pricing. So then that means each style you have to be making a particular amount of money based on the time you have available to make that money. Hopefully that was making sense, because I was editing this video and I'm just like, I don't think I was clear. Bro, that's $20 an hour. Is that gonna get you to $22,000? You know, whatever your goal is? Probably not. So be particular about what your outcome is in terms of what your expenses are. That should help you determine, based on understanding your market. We're going to have another video about that, but based on understanding your market, that will help you understand what you need to be charging in order to reach that goal. And factor in that you have to pay taxes. Unless you're doing it under the table, that's cool. Mind your business. It is what it is. But if you're doing it the legit way, you have to pay taxes. So you're going to need to take a percentage out of every client that you're making and, you know, put some money aside for that. So it's going to be more than just 8 times. You know what I'm saying? All of that needs to be taken into account. And when you figure out what that number is, what that goal is, then you can factor that on top of how much time it's going to take you into how much you charge. Don't let nobody try to determine what your value is based off of them comparing you to somebody else. You can also, you know, include an experience. So I have a client that does hair herself, and she charges a lot of money for what she do, but she's offering an experience. Complete privacy. You're not going to her house, you're not going to your house. She got her own suite and ain't nobody else in there. So she got celebrity clients who have privacy. You get there, she set the mood, she probably got some champagne for you. If you want to factor in all of those things, then you can charge more. The fact that their hair, you know, they got their edges. It's not red bumps at the back of their neck when you do their hair. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be factored in. They tender-headed, but they like when you do their hair because you take the time to care about the fact that they're tender-headed. There's so many different things that you can factor into why you charge what you charge. What you can do is explain that to the customer, because it's not always assumed. They just looking at, oh, well, I went on so-and-so Instagram and it cost this, why you charging that? You know, they're not understanding that there can be an experience that you're offering included in how much you charge. So just be mindful of that. Be realistic, you know, perfect your craft, master it, be good at it. Be reasonable about what you're charging, or you'll find that you're gonna have a hard time keeping clients. Just make sure the quality and the customer service adds up to what it is that you're charging, and you should be fine. So again, that's pretty much sums it up. I personally think you should be doing a consultation. Everybody shouldn't be paying the same price, because everybody's not gonna get the same variables. You know what I'm saying? It could be close, but just understand it's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do that, you're gonna show up and sometimes you're gonna feel like, oh, this was easy money. It was exactly what I expected. I charged right. And sometimes you'll feel like I should have charged more, or this wasn't even worth my time, or, you know, you just run into things, and it's just like unfortunate. So that's my opinion. I definitely feel like consult, please. Consult. That's how you charge. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you're a stylist, you feel like I missed something, you have value to add to the people who are watching this video, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And yeah, until next time, I love you.